Hello everyone, welcome to our channel BISP Solution. So let's start our today's session. In our previous sessions, we have seen totally about the finance part and the inventory part, and how to create the inventory, sub inventory, and the transactions like miscellaneous transaction, movement, and we have the different type of uh, counting, physical counting, and cyclic counting, right? So we had covered the finance part as well as the inventory part. So from today onwards, we will cover the purchasing application, right? And after that, we will cover the AP, right? So let's start our today's sessions from the basic setup in procurement application, and later on we will see the supplier creation, how we will create the supplier in our fusion application, right? So we have some basic steps from how to enable the basic function business functions to our business unit, configure the procurement requisitioning business functions, what are the common options for payables in procurement, like we have the payment terms, right? And we have to set the setup receiving parameters, how to create the procurement agent, how to assign supplier roles to the user like supplier manager, and after that we have to run this ESS job address and specifying the supplier numbering, and after that we will cover how to create the supplier. And under the supplier we have the different tasks like the profile, address, site, and the site is how to assign to business unit, right? So we'll see one by one all the setups. So let's move to our instance, right? So this is our SCM IMPL implementation user. So start from our setup and maintenance, right? Under the setting action. So first we will enable the business functions for our business unit. So in these setups we will take the seeded business unit provided by the Oracle is nothing but a US1 business unit, and ensure that we have the procurement and procurement offerings so that we can perform all the procurement related tasks, right? Let's add one finance so that we can easily perform our task. Where is finance? There is finance. Yep, right. On the background you can see finance offerings set added, done, right? Now we'll start with the task is enable business function for the business unit. So in that way we have to search, the task name is assign business unit business function, right? Assign business unit business functions, go with the procurement like right, assign business unit business function, click on this, go to task. Now select an ad, click on this, apply, go to task. Because we have already one business unit, name is US1 business unit, right? So Go with this second one, US1 business unit. The location is Redwood City, and click on this save and close. Right. So we have already defined our business function to this business unit. Like we have already enabled the procurement, requisitioning, receiving, and we have the material management and payables, invoicing, right? So all the functions are already enabled within the primary ledger US1 primary ledger, US primary ledger, and the legal entity is US1 legal entity. So from tomorrow, from today onwards, we will take the US1 business unit and US1 legal entity and the US primary ledger. These are the seeded data provided by the Oracle. We will take this all this seeded data, right? Save and close. Right, no issue. It's warning. Right. Now let's move to our configure the procurement business function. So again, we have to search. The task name is configure procurement business function. Right. Right. So we have to perform the procurement business function and the requisitioning business function, both tasks at the same window you can see over here. So let's cover one by one. Start from the procurement. Now let's take the procurement business unit. This is nothing but a US1 business unit. Let's take US1 business unit. Okay. Right. So under this procurement business function, we have the main and document type, right? So under the main, we have to define some general information like payment term, shipping method, and the break price break type, inventory organization, right? What are the line type? Whenever we select a line, so at that time always it's display a goods. You can see over here. In the same way, we can also select a different type of line as per your creation, yeah, as per your seed data. Like so, start from the payment term. So, what are the payment terms? We have some seeded payment terms like net 30, net 45, immediate, end of the month, whole 10, immediate, right? And you can also create under the payment term creation page, right? So now I'm going to this immediate, right? So these are the basic setup. You can also set that the default settings. You are set this procurement, right? So whenever we create some purchase order and all that, at that time it will show you the payment term is immediate, the line type is goods, the inventory organization is operations, right? The currency is USD. So these are the setups, right? Inventory is already we selected. Yeah, the operations. No, go with the CTEL, right? CTEL our inventory organization is right. Operation is I think is item master. I think item master is operation, and this is our inventory organization is child inventory organization, or you can say the physical inventory organization, right? And we have the shipping method, right? And if you want to set these setups in future, you can come back to these setups and you can edit some basic information, right? Now we have the buyer and we have the cumulative price breaking type. What is the maximum file size of megabits purchasing, right? Megabits. And we have the receipt, close point, and many more options, right? We have the sourcing. What are the sourcing like supplier, inventory, right? Let's click on save and close. Okay, in the same way we will perform the requisitioning business function. We'll configure. Let's select our business requisitioning BU. The same we have the US1 business unit. US1 business unit. Okay, right. So at the time of requisitioning, what are the deliver organization, right? What is your default organization, right? So suppose we have the deliver to organization is retail or delivery, right? And we have the line type is goods and group requisitioning import by item. So these are the requisitioning. While we create the requisition, you can say we order some products, some items at that time. What are the basic setups, right? We have the purchasing default procurement view is US1. What is the ship to location? You can set over here. What is your ship to location? Is Ital, right? Let's click on save and close. Right. So I cover the enable business function and configure the procurement and requisitioning business function. Now let's configure the common option for payables and procurement. So let's search. The task name is manage common options for payables and procurement. Let's see. It's right. Payables and procurement. So go with the procurement part. Define common invoicing, common option, invoicing and payables configuration. I'm going to common, go with that. Right. So we have the manage common options for payables and procurement. So let's click on this go to task. Right. So we have to define some default distributions. Distributions we have the like code combination. What is the liability prepayment and what is the conversion rate, right? What is the discount taken, right? We have to define all the things on this distribution so that we can create uh, the code combination, right? Automatic offset. What is the one time payment, right? We have to define the liability expense over here, right? So when we select the business unit, it fetch all the information, all the fields from from your RI sheet. When we submit your RI sheet or RI sheet in this application, at that time all the fields get fetch. US1 business unit. See, these are the code combination for this liability. This is the code combination for the prepayments, right? So this is all the information come from the RI sheet, rapid implementation sheet, right? So save and close. Now set up the receiving parameter. So let's search. The task name is manage receiving parameter. Right. So we have the mandatory task is manage receiving parameter. Let's select our organization. CTL. Okay. Right. So we have the some mandatory fields and some are the optional field. You can select as per your requirement, like shift to exception section, and what are the receipt day exit action, what are your over receipt tolerance, at what days you can cover, you can accept the over receipt tolerance, right? So let's select this receipt house routing. So we have the receipt routing like direct delivery, we have the inspections and required, we have the standard receipt, right? We will cover what is this receipt routing, we will cover in our upcoming sessions. We have the 4-way matching, 3-way matching, 2-way matching. At that time we will see the inspections required, the standard receipt, right? So right now we go with the standard receipt, right? And under the receipt number, how the receipt number generated by the automatically, or we can generate it manually, right? So go with the automatically, and what are the type is numeric, right? And what is the next number? So you can define over here the next number. So this is seeded, like already we create some receipt. So this is the next number. When we create the receipt, at that time the number generate this number, right? And what are the receipt routing inspection required when we perform RMA, right? RMA is nothing but a return material authorization, right? So let's select this is standard receipt, and what is validate lot, you can restricted, unrestricted, and restricted with the warning. So let's click on this save and close. Right. Now we have performed this receiving parameter. Let's create the procurement agent. So let's go to the task name is procurement agent. What is procurement agent, right? So let's task name is manage procurement agent. So let's go with the procurement, right? So this procurement agent cover, let's click on this manage procurement agent, and we have to select and add this procurement agent. Go to task, I think this is manage procurement agent. Click on this go to task, and I'm going to create new, so click on this one, right? So this is manage business unit, I'm not going this one. Let's again click on that. select and add. Right. So this is manage procurement agent. So a procurement agent is responsible for buying the high quality items for the client at the lowest possible price and in the correct amount, right? So this is the basic duty of this procurement agent, right? So on the business unit, US1 business unit, we have already created some uh, business procurement agent, right? Let's search US1, right? Let's click on search. So these are the US1 business unit. Under this procurement view, we have the agent. We have different agent. So we have already create, and we can also create this business unit. Like, click on this create icon. So what is procurement view? This is our US1. Let's select. US1 is our procurement view. And what is the agent? Agent is nothing but a employer. And if your SCM implementation user is also an employer, you can select over here. Like we have the Brown. Let's say it is Brown search. Right. So we have the employee user. We have seen over here. These are the employee user. You can select. This is Casey Brown. You can select this one. Like this is finance department. Okay. And what are the default requisitioning view? You can also select it. And this is default printer, and this is nothing but select by the, and you can say the provide by the DBA, the database administrator person can provide this information of this default printer, right? And you have to allow this all the actions for this agent so that it can manage the supplier. It can qualify the supplier, it can create the supplier, manage the supplier, it approves the supplier list entries, right? So these are the basic function, and you can see the action for this agent, right? So it is required. Let's cancel out. It's already created. Let's done. Now our next task is assign supplier role to the user, and after that we have to perform this alert job. So let's click on this navigator. Now let's go to the tools, click on this schedule processes. Right. Sorry. Click on this navigator. First we have to add the role. After that we have to perform this task is a job. So first we have to tools and click on the security console. Click on this user. What is the name of this user? Not showing. Let's join SCM underscore IMPL. Right, so this is username SCMIMPL. Somebody change this display name. No issue. Right. So let's click on this edit icon. Click on this add roles. Let's please check it will having some supplier manager role or not. Shipping manager is there. We don't have the supplier manager, right? And we have the warehouse. We have the warehouse manager. No, it's not the- click on this head role. Search for the task name is sorry. Search for the role name is like supplier manager. Right. So supplier manager. So the copy. Select this one. Select first one. Click on this add role membership. Click OK. Right. Save and close. And we have to provide the data access. After that, we will perform the LDEV job. So again, click on this setting in action. Click on this settlement maintenance. Click on this task list. Click on this manage implementation project. Click on this implementation project and search. The name is manage data access for users. Right. Go anyone. Right. Manage data access. Click on that. Right. So click on this create icon and let's define the username. Search, that is SCM underscore IMPL, and we have the role is supplier manager, right? This is supplier manager, and under the supplier manager we have to select the not showing inventory organization, right? Now let's select our inventory organization. Sorry, 001 is our inventory organization. You can see there is no the business unit also. Now let's save and close. Let's again select this one. Say I'm here. What are the rules? Supply and manager. We have the business unit, and we have to define the business unit over here. This US one. Right. It's done. Now let's perform the ad job. Go to the tools, click on this scheduled processes. Click on this schedule new process. Now let's search AdLab. Select this one, click on OK. Click OK. Right. Now let's submit. So 2323 was submitted. This is our process ID. Let's refresh it. 2323 is the process ID. Status is running. Let's refresh it. Let's click on this navigator, and under the procurement we don't have any supplier related tasks. You can see over here. Now let's refresh and let's sign out and sign in again and check. Let's copy this one. Let's sign out. SCM underscore IMPL. Click on this navigator, click on this procurement, see supplier gets enabled, right? Right. So what we did so far, we have completed all these setups till the end lab job. This procurement agent is very IMP for creating this supplier in our application, right? So let's move to our next slide. Is specifying the supplier numbering. After that, we will see how to create the supplier. So first, we will see the supplier numbering. What is this, right? So again, click on this navigator. So setting an action. Click on this setup and maintenance. Click on this task list. Click on this manage implementation project. This is our implementation project, and we have to search the task name is specify supplier numbering, right? Go to procurement, specify supplier numbering, go to task. So our next supplier number is 1008, right? So you will see like let's click on this one and open link in next tab, right? Right. So this is our next number. We'll see this tab, right? So let's create the supplier. So click on this navigator under the procurement. Click on this supplier. So if your application have the employer and if you have the uh, procurement agent, so you can create the supplier. Either you don't have any option to create supplier, right? So while we creating the supplier, we must have three terms, three configuration: supplier agent, employer, employer. We create employer. What is employer? We have already seen. One is implementation user and one is employee user. So the procurement agent, employee user, and third one is our uh, human capital management. Task name is LDG, right? We have the legislative data group. So these three things very mandatory while creating the supplier, right? So let's click on this create supplier, right? So let's define a supplier. So we have to define the name of supplier, right? So what are the supplier name? Like we have the star bearing supplier, right? And what is the business relationship with your supplier? We have the prospective and span authorized. So when you select the span authorized, when you select this prospective, it means it cannot allow you to do the business with this supplier having their type is prospective, right? You you only negotiate with this supplier, right? And When we select this brand authorize, it means you can do the business transaction and with this supplier, and you can create the sales order, purchase order, right? And let's go with the span authorize. And what is the this is a business relationship, right? What is this text organization type? So let's select right now the corporation, and you can define the text country and what is the text number, right? What is the UNS number? Now let's click on create. Right. So these are the general information you can also provide on this, right? Let's click on this address. Click on this create. Suppose we have the star bearing supplier address, right? And what is the country? We have the US. It's not showing. Let's enter with the capital letter of US. It's not again showing. Let's define the code. I think I'm going the United. Right. United States. Right. You can also provide the same name under the line 1. And let's define the postal code so that we can capture the city, state, and the county automatically with the help of this postal code, right? And what is the purpose of this address? For ordering and for remit to, right? And you can also provide the phone numbers, fax number, email, right? And the status is active by default, right? So let's click on this save and close. Right, so the profile is created, the address is created. Let's go to the site, and you can see the site option is not enable, right? It's not enable. So while when you create the contact, it required the site over here, right? So this is very mandatory and important field over here. We have to create this one, but right now this is not enabled. So what is the reason behind it? So first we have to submit this request for site approval, right? For your approval we have to submit this request at that time. So suppose click on this submit. You can see the internal profile change request was submitted and it contained the changes that required approval, right? So this is copy it and let's note it down to notepad so that we can, right, click OK, and let's click on this notification. And who approved this request? We don't know, right? Suppose we have checked the pending approval, right? Let's again click on this notification. Right, you can see the supplier approval change request for the short bearing supplier star. Sorry, star, no issue, was approved. So it's approved automatically, right? So again, no issue. Now again, search for our supplier and it is on the incompleted. You can see over here. Click on this task list, click on this manage supplier and search name is star. Right, this is our supplier name. Right, so this is our address. You can see over here and click on this site option not enabled over here. Again click on this address and click on this edit, right, and click on this one, click on this edit. Right, let's cancel out. First we'll check this site. So we can maintain the site only if you are procurement agent with access the managed supplier. So your procurement agent with this access, you are not you will not manage this supplier, right? Click on this one, click on this edit and save and close. Go to this site. It's not enabled over here, right? When we click on the submit, it will again send the request for the approval of this edit profile, right? So let's can click on this one, save and close. Click on site. Right. So it will show you are not a procurement agent, right? With access to manage this supplier. If you want to manage this supplier, you have to change the procurement agent, right? So it is seeded procurement agent, so it will show you some problems, right? No issue. You can check on this cancel out. Let's check procurement agent. So let's go to this procurement agent. Yeah, the US one. Click on that. Right. Search for our US. Right. So these are the procurement agent. Right. These are the procurement agent. So we have to define one procurement agent like receive Brown. Click on this edit. So we have the default, all the things. Manage supplier. You cannot manage. right? We have to provide the this one, right? Suppose we have the right, cancel out, right? Let's take some more. Let's take this one and click on this. Again, manage supplier is not applicable, right? Let's take this one. Let's create one more. US one. Select this one, right? And who's the agent? Suppose we have the SCM underscore IMPL, not showing. Hero. Let's define hero. Right. Let's define OK. What is UK? Not US one business unit. Right. So this is our procurement agent. Let's save and close. Right. It's done. Right. Let's go to the supplier. Can I think I'm going this one, and this is our US business unit. This is our agent. Click on this create. Sorry, edit. It's not applicable. How this possible? It should be. Sorry, it's not agent. Hero. Click on this edit. Cancel out. Manage supply is not available. Let's create one more. We have the suppose we have the Tata, bearing supplier, Ltd. Right. No issue. Spend authorize, creation, create. Right, again click on this address, create. Let's define, like we have the data bearing supplier address. Right, so this is our address. 7 close. Sorry, let's select ordering and remit tools. 7 close. Right, that site is not enabled. Right, again this address. Select the record and click on this submit. Right, changes request is, let's copy it. Right, wait for a while. You can see this approved, no issue. Now again, let's go to site, not enable, go to address and select record, click edit, 7 close, site. We don't have any access, right? So no issue, we'll see in our upcoming session how to enable this one, how to provide the site, right? Because we cannot provide this, while we create this procurement agent, and you can see it not applicable. It should be applicable, right? So that you can manage. Let's cancel out. Let's move to the right. So creation supplier, you'll see the profile, how to create the profile and address. In our next session, we'll see the site and site assignment to the view, right? And the rest of the setups for the procurement, right? So thanks for watching this session and attending this session. Thanks a lot.